Okay. Are we not recording? Oh, we are recording. Okay. All right. I got psyched out by a recording that didn't record like a few months ago, so now I'm like, okay. All right. So, hi everybody and welcome and thank you for being here for the August meeting of the DuPage ROSC Council. My name's Jared Burton. I am the ROSC coordinator. Nice to be here with y'all today. As you can see, we are continuing our community partner site tours, and we are so thrilled. Do you want to turn on the light behind me? Okay, consider we
Ooh.
got it. We got it. No, we are here at Healthcare Alternative Systems, or HAS, here in Wheaton, and yeah, everybody give them a round of applause, even virtually, for hosting. And we are going to talk to some folks from Haas and learn obviously about services, and we're going to meet amongst each other here. But we're glad they could be our August host. Stay tuned for some announcements on where we're going to be next. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because we've got some like slight housekeeping stuff at the beginning. If we could make sure that everyone is muted, if you could keep your self muted on Zoom so we can cut down on interruptions, stuff like that. Unless it's a time for questions or comments, you can raise your digital hand and I should be able to see it. Quick anecdote. A pen blew up in my pocket. I'm gonna see if I can get it. So see that? This happened on the way over here. And I always like get overly neurotic before meetings, and this completely helped me out. This was great. So yeah, great to be here. Thought I'd point that out. I'm gonna go ahead and share. We'll go over the agenda, and yeah, we'll get going. This one is, yeah. The other one's not, yeah. And this, do we have Banyan Peer Support Award winner Mark Matthews right next to us, folks? Okay. All right. Let's go over the agenda here. This is us, the meeting open. We're right here. Actually, we're right about here on the agenda. Okay. So we're going to preview a bunch of upcoming meetings and trainings. I got a quick substance trend thing we got to do. There was some stuff we covered last month, but we have some new things this month. So we got to go over a few of those things. My friend Johnnie Jasper, I'm going to talk to you in just a bit, but he is the lead counselor here at Haas and Small World. We used to work together at Serenity House, and so it's we have come full circle, and it's a really really cool moment to have that. So after that, we're going to talk to Stefani. Roger, is Steve here? Sometimes I don't have the time to check the rooms here.
Hi,
I
Jarrett.
think you're muted.
I am I?
Oh, okay, there. That's a Steve. Sorry, I just couldn't see
Good to
your
see you.
face. Okay, good. We're gonna have I put Roger on here and Steve, I didn't know at the time if you were gonna be able to make it, but you have made it, so I'm glad you're here with us. So Steve and Roger will talk to us about Hope for Healing, but obviously this is Overdose Awareness Month, and we have got a big event coming up, and there's been some work behind the scenes over the past couple of years on some like artistic endeavors related to some of our overdose awareness events that we are going to talk about, but also you may see her buzzing around occasionally, I guess a hummingbird or a bee, which is Annette Villarreal. I'm going to get her on the microphone too, who is actually going to be a coordinator in her own right for the Kane County RES, which is awesome. So we're going to talk about some of the work that they've been doing, but also a little bit about overdose awareness and why this is such an important month. Then we have Ray McMaher, Program Specialist at Recovery Corps. If you're unfamiliar with Recovery Corps, it is kind of an arm of Impact or AmeriCorps, and they do a program that helps people who are interested in using their own kind of lived experience in finding positions in the recovery field. And Annette, who I just mentioned, again, Small World, has gone through that program, and she is living proof of how programs like that can be really, really cool and can find people the right programs for them. And then at the end, we're also going to go over any organizational updates folks have for their own organizations. So Let's move right along. Hey, the next DuPage ROSC Council meeting, the tour continues next month at the Gateway Foundation location in Downers Grove. Very, very excited to go out and see them for that one. That's on Wednesday, September 10th, from 3 to 4 p.m. Again, so the in portion will be at Gateway, but we always do the Zoom portion. So if somebody wants to attend this, they can. I think we're booked up through the end of the year, maybe into January, February. So if you're interested, let us know. I'm not sure how long it's going to go on for. I guess until we run out of locations, but so far so good. So yeah, hope you could join us at that one. And I believe October is College of DuPage. So we got a great 1-2 there for September and October. If you know somebody who's looking for a virtual smart recovery meeting, we do those over at Serenity House every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. We do those over Zoom. You can join us every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. So that is virtual smart. Pardon me. If you attend regularly our DuPage ROSC presentation series, you know that's a chance outside of this particular like council meeting setting to dig into a topic a little bit deeper. So that's something that might be kind of in the news or headlines we're hearing about, stuff that's showing up in out on the streets, whether that's adulterants, new forms of synthetics, whatever, you name it. And this is a chance for us to do that. So this month, August, we're actually taking off. We're taking a vacation, but we'll be back with this in September. So September, we're actually doing a presentation on kava. I don't know if you're familiar with kava or not. But it is one of these substances, very kind of like an interesting substance, kind of has similar effects, almost like alcohol, slight opiate sort of effect. Traditionally used ceremonially and in other types of forms for sleep and other things. But it's kind of showed up recently through a form called Feel Free, which has sort of shown up and become slightly problematic through the sale in vape shops and things like that. So we'll be talking about that one on Wednesday, September 17th. So we hope you can join us for that. And if you're somebody who's got a topic you're really passionate about and would like to present, let us know. We're always looking for presenters. Virtual refuge recovery, we got that too. If you don't know refuge recovery, it is kind of a Buddhist or Eastern spiritual based program. Kind of uses a lot of that mindfulness meditation inside of the recovery stuff. We do a virtual meeting on Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. Check that out if you haven't. It's a really cool alternative for people who maybe don't relate to traditional 12-step or even smart recovery programs. Refuge is like a pretty cool option for them. A couple other things that have opened up lately. Folks, if you need stuff for new psychiatric intervention, so this is basically free intervention programs for psychiatric stuff at Serenity House. So if you or somebody you know needs these types of services, we're trying to get like proactive as opposed to reactive. So getting folks these services ahead of time, we've got that available for them. We've appointments are available, but we are seeing people on Wednesdays. And again, this is important. You don't need a substance use diagnosis to access these services. I think sometimes people find a program that will take them and think that, well, if I don't have substance use as a primary, they're not going to take me. We'll take you. So if people need that, you can send them over to Serenity House on Wednesdays. We are also going into the new year, continuing our Narcan Access Point program. If you're unfamiliar, for the past couple of years, we have been going out and putting in those Narcan boxes you can see right there, all throughout the county, through our wonderful partnership with the DuPage Health Department. I think to date, we have put in 11 or 12 of these things throughout DuPage, which is pretty amazing. And that's down to the host sites being willing to take a chance on having harm reduction at their locations. So we've got these boxes up everywhere from treatment centers to libraries to police departments to social services, food pantries, you name it. And DuPage County, still very much a NIMBY, not my backyard county. We can tell y'all these dispense a lot of Narcan in DuPage County. So we're glad that we have them up. And we're going to continue this program. So if you or somebody has got a program, a location, a business, this isn't just, strictly related to, the places that I mentioned. Get with us because we could work something out about having one of these at your site. Guess what, y'all? I mentioned earlier, there is a Kane County ROSC now. And actually, Serenity House is the grant holder. Very, very honored to be opening this, I guess opening is the right word, starting this ROSC Council in Kane County. And we're going to be doing that with a kickoff on Wednesday, September 24th. We would love to have you out with us. And the awesome folks at the Kane County Health Department have been amazing at letting us have this first meeting at their location. We're kind of going to take a similar approach that we did in DuPage, which is we're going to listen to, community stakeholders. We're going to listen to leaders in the community, and we're going to listen to people with lived experience to learn more about what a program in their community should look like. So these types of meetings are super important though, because we get together and we kind of start talking about what the needs of the community are. So this should be really, really cool. This will be a hybrid. We're going to try and do a similar thing to what we did in DuPage, which is get the hybrid going up at one location and then hopefully have a rotation. So after the health department of this kickoff, we'll have another location and so on and so forth. So hope you can join us for that one. That's on Wednesday, September 24th at 2 p.m. Come out and join us in person if you can. Overdose Awareness Day, though, this is the big one, y'all. This is coming up on Thursday, August 28th. I always put up the wrong flyer. Imagine this 6 right here says 5:30, if you can imagine that. This is going to be 5:30 to 8:30 at Serenity House. If you have not been to one of these before, we really try to make it a celebration of loved ones and people and friends and family who we've lost to overdose. And obviously, there's a somberness to proceedings like that, but it's also a celebration. So we've got music. We've got the kids from School of Rock who are going to come out and play. They're awesome. We've got refreshments. We're going to have art, crafts, games, vendors. You name it, we will have it. And we'll talk more a little bit about this, in just a few minutes. But we hope you can make it out to that one. If you haven't come or been to one of these, it's a really, really cool experience. And it's really, really nice to be around so many people to see how many others have been kind of touched by this, by the disease of addiction. So we hope you can be there with us. Hey, Scott Coppin. I just wanted to point you out loudly as you walked in. All right, last thing before I start talking to other people. I wanted to talk about some substance trends. This is a new thing that I started doing, I think in June, but this is where I really wanted to start kind of like coding it into the meetings for sure. So we always come across new substances. So whether that's something that's showing up in drug supplies like xylazine, or maybe that's like a quote unquote like gray market substance, like different types of kratom products that show up in vape shops. But we're learning more and more about new ones, so we try to keep people up to date on what we're learning about out there in the field. So this one was from last month, but I wanted to repeat this one. Has anyone here heard of OPV before? Show of hands, Scott. Okay, Mark, Kathy. Okay, so we got a few. Oh, we got one. Okay, we got a digital hand, so there's a few of us. Okay, cool. So it's a opioid overdose reversal medication that was recently approved. But unlike the other overdose reversal meds like Narcan, Opvi is not a naloxone product, so it does not contain naloxone. It contains this chemical right here, and I always butcher it, but we're going to try it again. Nelmethane. Nelmethane. There we go. Nelmethane. Nelmethane, which is actually way, way, way stronger than naloxone, which is that active ingredient in Narcan. The difference is Opvi is going to stay in your system, stay active in your system for 8 to 12 hours. which compared to Narcan, which is 30 to 90 minutes, you can see that's a huge, huge difference. Harm reduction organizations kind of rightly have raised some concerns about, the length of time that something like this will render somebody in a precipitated withdrawal. So if you're unfamiliar with how naloxone or nalmefene works in the system, it is going to basically, in some shape or form, cause a precipitated withdrawal, which, if you've not gone through it before, it's very unpleasant, like deeply unpleasant. And folks who get Narcan, even if they know it's very, very temporary, like let's say at 30 to 90 minutes, they will still get up and sprint to try and use to not feel that precipitated withdrawal. Now imagine being stuck in that for 8 to 12 hours. You can see how that could be slightly problematic. But on the other hand, you also have folks who are saying, I would rather be alive than feel, deeply uncomfortable for 8 to 12 hours. So this is kind of the sides we're looking at here. Opvia is actually way more expensive. I don't know the exact price point or if it's even something that's like going to be a consumer-based thing. But this has been something that's been showing up lately. The August one, medetomidine. I did it. Medetomidine. Okay. Everybody here knows xylazine by this point. Okay. So medetomidine is going to be very similar. So medetomidine is that veterinary sedative that has been showing up in the U.S. illicit drug supply for a few months now, actually, probably close to a year on and off. This stuff is like souped up xylazine. So depending on the batches or whatever, 100 to 200 times the potency of xylazine. It's going to cause that long-lasting sedation, so the lower heart rate and more severe withdrawal symptoms. So when people have been taking it for longer periods of time, it's not an opioid, but it is found in the street opioid supplies. So that's what's being used as an adulterant in an already dangerous opioid supply. A lot of the East Coast cities are seeing kind of this rapid increase in ER visits for withdrawal. The withdrawal is that bad that folks are showing up to the ER. So for a rapid increase in ER visits for substance use, so this is what's interesting. Medetomidine does not have the same skin effects that xylazine does. If you take xylazine for any longer period of time, it'll cause like basically lesions and sores that don't heal unless you get wound care. And people are getting like amputations and stuff like that. But medetomidine doesn't have that same skin effect. So it's like a trade-off. So ERs are seeing less terrible skin conditions, but they're seeing people showing up for still these kind of like crazy withdrawal symptoms that it's causing people. So again, most people are going to the ER for the withdrawal, which kind of shows you, I never treat these meetings as like scare tactics, but the stuff around the tranquilizers is the stuff that like makes my skin crawl, because of just what it does to the system. So yeah, so that is our substance trend check-in for August. There's always new stuff coming up, so we'll try to keep everybody informed. So I am going to stop my share here for a second. And I'm going to turn on my second microphone because I'm going to pass this back to Johnnie.
Okay.
I got you your own microphone.
I see.
So we are here at Healthcare Alternative Systems in Wheaton. You may have seen it shortened as H.A.S. And I think somebody's been coming to our meetings from H.A.S since close to the beginning. I know Patty O'Malley was, and then Matilda started coming last year. And so it just made sense to ask them to host a meeting here because they've been really supportive of the programs that we do. And so I came here last week to do kind of like a tech walkthrough. Most of you who know me, which I'm looking at this list, it's a lot of you, I'm very neurotic about like AV setups and tech stuff. I'm coming in days before, taking photos with my phone, but we came and did that, and Matilda was introducing me to everybody. And Matilda's a great host, by the way. She introduced me to everybody. And as we were coming in, I see somebody. I'm like, wait a second, I know this guy, and it was Johnny Jasper over here. And until it's like, yeah, this is Johnny, the lead counselor, and I was like, you don't say. And it just goes to show you the kind of small, I guess, recovery world in one sense, but also just kind of like my own personal sense, because the way I know Johnny, I'll kind of do like the brief how I met Johnny personally. That Serenity House, it's kind of specializes in recovery housing, so sober living for men and women. And in the men's residential home, they have a position called senior resident, which is sort of like a dorm and or like a an RA in a dorm, but the dorm is filled with alcoholics. So it's not as fun as a dorm. But no, it's people who've gone through the program themselves and they come back and they kind of live on campus. And it's a great way to stay connected, A, but also it helped me to kind of see that this was the type of like work I wanted to do. Before I took that little position, I had no, idea that I wanted to do any of this type of work. And so I took that position and I realized like I love this stuff, like I loved talking about recovery. I love talking about like how recovery could be better, how like recovery culture could be better. And one of the people that I met there was Johnny, and Johnny was a counselor when we were over there. And I loved working with Johnny. He had such a like light sense about him, but he also meant business when he needed to. And I would, it was great modeling, honestly, for when I would get out and kind of get into the field and do peer support work and other things like that. So I know that's a big kind of long-winded introduction, but Johnny, you don't have to give us like the super short version, but how did you get here? How did you get to working in recovery?
Well,
Yeah, first and social security number. What's your social security number?
right. Well, I've been working in the field of addiction for
That is switched on a little. Is it blue? You see blue light? Okay,
it's
cool,
on,
cool,
it's
cool.
on. I've been working in the field of addiction about 28 years now. Okay. Believe it or not, guys, when I seen Jared and then I hear him talk right now, this was the quietest kid that I ever ran into when I worked as a counselor at Serenity House. I didn't know he talked so much. But yes, I've been doing this for a while oh wow, from residential to the criminal justice. It's been everywhere, wow, I'm still shocked the way this gentleman over here putting this out. Because I couldn't get him to say nothing and he and he was the house manager around here. Like, this dude talk. Okay. But yes, been working in the quite some time. I do know the horror of addiction. I'm also a recovering person myself with 30 years in alcohol and drug free. So working in this field, I have admired it. Like Jared, I when I first came into counseling, I knew this is something I wanted to do, and and it's been going strong ever since. It's not a great paying job, but
Wait, you,
it
you
do
didn't get
have
into
its
this for the
reward.
money?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. But it do has its rewards, just like seeing Jared here. Yeah, that's that's the payoff for this job that we do here. With all that being said, let's talk about H.A.S, Healthcare Retirement
Yeah.
Systems. Okay, I've been with H.A.S now, going on 5 years. Okay, and here I love what we do here because we focus on all the bases of substance abuse. Okay. We have an IOP program, which our guys come 3 days a week for IOP, that's intensive outpatient. They're here 3 hours. total of 75 hours, which is a 25 session. And you get to know these guys. Then we also work with our outpatient programs. The outpatient program is that you get the guys that's coming from the IOP, that's coming over, still doing what they need to do for recovery. Okay, we also have early intervention. Early intervention is a program that we do here is 12 hours, which everything is focused on substance abuse. Also, continued care. Okay, we also provide DUI services, Spanish services, youth services, angry management, anger management for adults and youth, and we also do mental health services. Okay, again, right now I'm in here with the staff that I work with, beautiful, beautiful people, understanding people, and love what they do here. And especially with our case manager, Matilda
Matilda?
over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's anything that we can't get with these guys with substance abuse, we'll turn it over to the case manager. And she does a wonderful job, and glad to have us with us here. Rest of the staff here, can we introduce this
We
staff that's here?
can, we can. So what you can do, you can just pass that mic around. And as long as it's on, people can just introduce themselves if they want. See Matilda, look, look at that.
Hey, I'm Jordan. I'm an intern finishing up next week, and I'll be taking over as evening IOP in a couple weeks.
Congratulations.
My name is Rihanna. I am our assessor here, so I do all of our substance abuse assessments. We mostly get referrals from like probation, parole, DCFS, and as Johnny mentioned, we do DUI services as well, so DUI clients too.
Excellent.
My name is Dan. I'm one of the licensed social workers here. I do the anger management services. I do the risk education services here. I also take care of the youth services. I'm a jack of all trades. I do assessments, and I do, what else? I'm missing one. Oh, mental health. So
Snow shoveling, the
yeah,
other stuff around the house too.
no. So a bit of everything there.
Yeah. I know. Is there someone on this side I need to pass it to? All right.
My name is Cynthia. I do IOP. I do I do a women's outpatient. I do Spanish outpatient. I do sometimes Spanish assessments too.
Excellent.
My name is Liz and I'm the intake assistant.
My name is Molly. I run the Tuesday OP, the Wednesday OP in the morning, the Thursday OP, continuing care, and help Johnny out whenever needed. So
Excellent. Matilda, you do have to say hi. You can't not.
My name is Matilda Faria. I am the case manager in Spanish and English and Chinese. And welcome. We are very, 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 I don't know. Oh, no, thank you. And it's incredible to work with these people. They are different to each other. So
Yeah.
you know what is that means, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Matilda. And Matilda did a great job setting up the table and everything. So did a great job. Thank you. Any other last comments or anything, Johnny, as far as services, or just any last words for everybody?
Yes. Hey, guys, thank you for coming out. We appreciate it. And if any time that H.A.S can be any of service to you, please do not hesitate to give us a call.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you again. Thank you again. Round of applause, everybody. Yeah. That was great. That was great. And you're getting the digital applause. That's good too. All right. So next up, I wanted to have up the Stefani, so our friends from Hope for Healing. No, literally, I think Steve and Roger have been coming around to to our ROSC stuff, maybe the first month. I mean, it had to have been early on. I think we were going for similar funding somewhere. We met each other. We're like, oh, this sounds like we could probably do the same thing together. And so we started working together, and it's been awesome to continue to do some of that work together. And I thought it made sense as we're coming up on overdose awareness. And there's a lot of events and projects and cool things happening to have both Roger and Steve here to talk about Hope for Healing, but also to talk about, a little bit about our event, overdose awareness coming up, but also some art that has been worked on for the past couple of years related to overdose awareness. And it's pretty cool. And it's a pretty cool thing that we're going to be seeing later in August. So I've babbled enough. Roger, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. Do you have, and forgive me, ROSC days are hectic for me, and emails sometimes fly over my head.
Yeah.
I have the one image you sent me. Was there something else, or do you want me to share the
No,
screen or anything? Or are you good?
I'm good. Yeah.
All right. Well,
We can,
Roger, I'm going to turn it over to you.
great, great. I appreciate this so much, Jarrett. We I think started around the same time. It may have been the same year, Jarrett, when the grant for ROSC came up through Hope Task Force, and that was the grant that we started with as well. And so about 6.5 years ago, that we formed a small family foundation, Hope for Healing, following the death of my son slash brother slash friend, Matthew, from an opioid overdose. And so we looked around to see what we wanted to do, and the work of Live for Lolly really resonated with where we were at and where our minds were at and what we felt was important. And so we started to have some discussions with them. And around that time, Greg Hart, who was co-chairing the Hope Task Force, encouraged us to come to a meeting. And so we kind of got involved with the county health department and county board. And that led to applying for a grant, which our initial grant, which got us started, was for us to basically bring Live for Lolly services, harm reduction services, into DuPage, because as you mentioned at the beginning of your talk here, that DuPage is somewhat of a NIMBY community, and there wasn't a lot going on at that time. It's remarkable how things have changed. But there was, I think, a feeling among the county board and the county health department that if we could start to, introduce some harm reduction services into the county, that would be helpful. And so that's what we did. We got a grant. We partnered up with Live for Lolly, and we've continued to partner up with them since then. We've had an agreement where we provide some financial and volunteer support to their harm reduction services. And I imagine many of you here are familiar with the harm reduction services of Live for Lolly, so I won't spend a lot of time on that. But access to safe using supplies, access to safe health and safe sex supplies, Narcan overdose education and Narcan training, navigation to treatment, those kinds of things, as well as just forming positive relationships with folks who come up to look for support. And over the years, we've always done that in collaboration. In fact, we're the small guys on the block, because really it's been Live for Lolly, and as time went on, ROSC, and specifically over the last year, Annette, who's just a bundle of energy and ability and passion, and she and Odalise Landa of Live for Lolly have had incredible impact in a couple of areas in DuPage that I'll touch on here in just a second. But it's really been really kind of a pleasure and honor to be able to work with them over the last couple of years. And I think a theme that runs through the work that we do, really almost since the very beginning, is one of collaboration. And we're small, so we can't accomplish a lot on our own, but being able to collaborate with ROSC, collaborate with Live for Lolly, collaborate with the health department. I heard you mention Scott Kaufman. Scott's been a great supporter of ours. Mila was like our North Star. She pointed out in the beginning West Chicago as an area to go to, and then later on she has pointed out Downers Grove and Willowbrook, which are the two places where we're at now at this point in time.
And I should point out real quick, just so if anybody doesn't know, you guys were going down in West Chicago, kind of doing like the first bit of like harm reduction outreach to that degree, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And
And
that's if you've never done harm reduction outreach, it can be difficult. And when you've got a van with certain supplies on it, that can be even more difficult. And so I always tipped my cap to y'all, and obviously the health department and Live for Lolly, because to be able to even find a location, to regularly go back to had to have been like a pretty big feat,
well, and it was a big challenge, and I think we learned a lot from it. It wasn't like some of the other Live for Lolly experiences, like in North Chicago or Waukegan. West Chicago is a very private community, um, and so we learned about the importance of learning about your community and spending time building relationships in that community. And I think we have found, when I say we again, it's us, Live for Lolly, Annette from ROSC. We have found that taking the time to build relationships, um, like we have at the community kitchen in Downers Grove, which is a program that serves meals to people unhoused or marginally housed people. Um, 7 days a week, they're serving a dinner meal to those folks. And then down in Willowbrook, a lot of people aren't even familiar with this area in the southeast corner of Willowbrook or southeast corner of DuPage, where there are, a very strong need because there's a lot of people with underserved people when it comes to health and social service support. So it's been through, guidance from others in collaboration that we've been able to kind of work our way into these communities. And it's actually, we have some strong connections that are building there. And those sorts of things we're hopeful to continue. We've received another grant from the county board to continue what we're doing. And
Nice.
the most exciting thing that I want to share with y'all is that Live for Lolly. So we funded Live for Lolly's presence in DuPage over the last several years, and that was just for a small part-time involvement. They now have a grant through the opioid settlement funds for a full-time outreach worker in DuPage County. So this goes
Nice.
from a 1 day a week to a 5 day a week presence in DuPage County. So I'm really
Nice.
looking forward and excited to see where that can lead things. And I
Yeah.
just want to throw out there that, and Live for Lolly gave me permission to do this. They are looking hard to find somebody that they feel meets the standards
Okay.
that's warranted in DuPage. So if you guys know of people, if anybody is looking for, to refer an outreach worker, Live for Lolly is hiring, and they would love to have contact. So you can let me know and I can pass that word on to them.
Yeah.
The other thing that we do in addition to harm reduction, or focus on in addition to harm reduction, is stigma reduction. And
Yeah.
so you mentioned over the last couple of years, we've been working with Felicia Maselli, well known to the ROSC, on an idea that she and Steve, who's going to speak now, about an art project that we felt would be a different way to address communication and connection in the community to help to reduce stigma. So I'm going to turn the mic to Steve and let him talk about the art project that we've been working on.
All right. Thanks there for the mic, Dad. Anyways, so this is a little preview image of our art project. So basically, my dad and I and Felicia had been talking about how, although we do, and I have to, stress this, I really do appreciate Overdose Awareness Day being about remembrance and, like celebrating recovery. But one thing that we kind of pointed out was that Overdose Awareness Day is a little bit of a misnomer in the sense that everybody that's there has experienced something that is directly connected to, overdose addiction, whatnot. And we were like, okay, how can we take those feelings, those emotions that we all kind of feel, the things that kind of unite all of us? I mean, I think a lot of us are here for similar reasons right now. And how do we take all of that and put it into a piece that shows, these collective, experiences that we've all had? And how do we turn that into something that people who maybe haven't been impacted can also kind of get some awareness out of? And because DuPage County is a NIMBY community in a lot of ways, the rationale was we want to, when we display this piece, so I'll explain what the piece is. We have been bringing 4x4 inch canvases to our tabling events. We've had, Serenity House has done them. We've just brought them to a lot of community events and whatnot. And we have, at this point, hundreds of paintings, but they are specific to Addison area and then Downers Grove area. And basically, the idea is we have them all sorted, and so they're labeled based on the community that they come from. And when we display this piece, the point is to have it filled with experiences from people that are not very far away. We want it to be like, this is how your town and the people in it are being impacted. And I think also from a art therapy kind of standpoint, this is a prompt. It is a way for people to express emotions, whether it is for somebody that they have lost or for celebrating all of the hard work and difficulty that they had to go through in their recovery. And yeah, so I guess that's the basic. And I will say, although it was my idea to come up with the canvases, Felicia told me that the AIDS quilt was so impactful to her, and that's where this all started from. So, definitely got to give a shout out there. Um, but yeah, anyways, as we started getting these paintings from events, we started thinking about how we were going to display them. And my uncle happens to be a pretty notable artist and sculptor. And so we had him, how tall are we thinking this is, Dad? Like 6 feet tall, overdose awareness ribbon. Um, and I know overdose awareness ribbons are purple. We are aware of that. We actually were initially planning on putting a purple patina on it. But I felt like, how do I put this? We want to present everybody with a blank canvas, and the white is representative of that, because although we put this project together, it is like not about us. It is about the people who contribute to it. And I think when it comes to recovery, when it comes to overdose and having a family or friend overdose, we have a lot of things that we argue about in our society, about how to handle things. And although I have my own opinions about things, I also want to hold space for everybody else who has, their own way that they've had to process this stuff. And yeah, so I guess that would be basically the rationale behind our art piece.
Yeah, thank you. And if anybody hasn't seen these, as Steve said, we've been doing them at Serenity House, I know for a fact, at least the last 2 years. And to see them like all laid out in front of you is incredibly just moving and awe-inspiring, because you see just like how many people have been affected by this thing. And that's just like in our little ecosystem, you know? So to be able to do this and finally kind of put this into action, because I know we've been talking about having it be modular, and then I mean, we've been talking about this one for a couple of years. So to see it in
Yeah.
action and to see it's really cool.
Yeah,
If
it's been a lot of
if folks are interested, come on out to the Serenity House Overdose Awareness Day, because it's going to be on display there. That'll be the first time that we have it out in public, and then we have it. We're going to have it on display at a church in Downers Grove, the church that hosts the community kitchen. That's going to be later on in September. And that community is going to contribute paintings. And our hope is for this to just grow, to pass around to festivals, events, programs, where it can be used to communicate and connect our stories.
All right. I only have about a minute. So Steve, you have a send off?
Oh, I was just gonna say, shameless plug. I am about to finish my internship this week, and will be looking for counseling jobs. So somebody hire me. So,
Hey,
woo!
there you go. Yeah, I was gonna put Annette on the microphone, but we're running short of time, so we may get back to her at some point. Yeah, but this looks great, and we're really looking forward to having you all there with us again. Really, really great project, and two great people. Glad to have you continuously come back and hang out and engage with us. So thank you, Roger and Steve. All right, I'm gonna stop this share, and we are next going to go to, where's our friend Ray? Ray, are you back?
Yes, I am here. I did accidentally
Ray,
join
there
this
you go.
meeting an hour early. Which is good. I'm often late to things, so at least it was early this time. So thank you so much for having me and Leann here. I won't take up too much time. I know that you have a lot on your agenda, but I do have some slides.
Yes.
I know I'm a very visual learner personally. So yes, like Jarrett said, I am a program specialist for Recovery Corps Illinois. Recovery Corps is an AmeriCorps program that trains people to either serve as recovery navigators, so they're serving in like a pure recovery support capacity, or project coordinators to help build capacity for recovery work. And we place these members at various partner sites. In Illinois, we also have programs in Minnesota and Virginia, and very soon in Kentucky as well. So the the way the program model works is we have two different types of positions. One is a recovery navigator position. These are people who have at least 1 year of lived experience with recovery themselves, and they receive training to then support clients one-on-one. They provide assistance through things like setting goals, accessing recovery community supports, accessing other benefits and services, getting assistance, getting healthcare and searching for employment, sort of all of these supports that people might need in their life to support their recovery efforts. That's something that a recovery navigator would help them with. The other type of role we have is a recovery project coordinator. And they aren't working one-on-one with clients, but working with their sites on various projects to help build capacity at the site. So they can provide assistance with things like developing a new program, doing community outreach, collecting data, working on communication. Uh, the position that we are actively recruiting for and why we're here at Serenity House is a project coordinator position. You don't have to be someone living with lived experience to be a project coordinator, although you are more than welcome to, and the requirement is just having at least 1 year of experience with recovery. And anyone can be a Recovery Corps member. You could be a very recent high school graduate. You could be someone who has had a whole other career and wants to change careers. I know I have only been with Recovery Corps for a few months, but in my experience so far, it does seem like a lot of people get really passionate about working in the recovery field after maybe going on their own recovery journey and kind of want to give back to the field. So I think a lot of people do end up kind of using Recovery Corps as a good like first step into this new career. We provide a lot of training. People who go through this program have the ability to get a CPRS certification that we pay for the education and we pay for the exam fee, and all of your experience hours in the program would count towards the experience hours you need for that certification. So it is a really great way for someone to maybe start a career in the recovery field if that's something that you want to do. Our members work either part-time or full-time. And we have specific start dates, September, October, and January. So a service term can be up to 11 months. And we do ask that people are able to commit to that whole term of service. It is not strictly considered a job. It's more like an internship sort of. And the nice thing about that is that the income that you receive isn't considered income. It's considered a stipend, which means that it doesn't interfere with other benefits you might be getting, like disability benefits, which is kind of nice. So there's a stipend that you get every 2 weeks, and up to $7,395 in an educational award that can be applied to tuition or student loans. Members also get free health insurance if they're serving full time, and can get childcare assistance based on income and family size as well. And I don't know, Jarrett, how much time do we have? I can
You know
kind of
what?
wrap it up there, or I
Yeah,
can
we
tell a
can
little bit more.
we can wrap it there just so I want
Cool.
to make sure I got time for everybody else in the room. But I did, because I have now I can put Annette on the microphone. Annette, you got it on? Okay, so Annette Villarreal served as the program
Recovery project coordinator.
recovery project coordinator. So do you want to talk a little bit about your time spent as the project coordinator?
Of course, it'd be an honor to speak on behalf of my service, right? Because we don't work for Recovery Corps, we serve for Recovery Corps. I'm coming to my end, of course, and my service, but during this year, again, I think Ray went through like all the steps and all the benefits that you obtain when you're serving with them. But I think it was stepping stool and an opportunity, especially for someone who is either thinking of maybe transitioning to a new role, or for someone who's out of school, or, and looking for some kind of experience working in the recovery field. This would be a perfect place for you. It really helped me establish myself and make the networks that I, really wanted to make. And I really found that their vision and mission also aligned with my own personal visions and missions as well. So I would recommend, if you know anyone or feel like maybe even your child, your children who are out of college or in college or anything like that, this would be a very great experience for them. And so,
All right, Ray, how do they get involved, or how do they do this?
So
Jarrett, I just dropped the link in the chat for
We got
the
a link
straight to the
dropped.
application. And it's really simple. We find people that are passionate about recovery and passionate about, helping people out of substance use disorder. We interview them and we guide them, right? We guide them with their own skills and their own passions. Like with the project coordinators, especially, like, what are you passionate about, right? I don't want this to be a stale experience for you. And so
Yeah.
for our project coordinators, we maximize their skills and their passions, and we really put that into action, right? And so,
Yeah.
and that did incredible things this year. So again, here at Recovery Corps, we appreciate our partnership with Serenity House. We're also always taking on new partners, right? So
Yeah.
if you want to be a partner with Recovery Corps and have a recovery navigator or a project coordinator at your site, please go to Recovery Corps. Recovery Corps, look up Recovery Corps. I'll put the link in, actually. Say that you're a site, and you can even apply to be a site partner. So, we appreciate our partnerships with our sites, and we appreciate our members. So we want people, this is the last thing I'll say, because I can get long-winded. All too often I see people in recovery get into working in recovery and they burn out. And so what we want to do here at Recovery Corps is we want to see people in recovery, working in recovery, and doing it well. We implement self-care. We implement how do you implement boundaries, right? And really structure our program structured around that. So I'm grateful that you would let us be here today, Jarrett, and thank you for your partnership. Annette, thank you for your service. And Ray, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you to Leann and Ray. We appreciate it. And yeah, definitely suggest it to somebody if they're thinking about getting into the field. It's a really great way to get your foot in the door. You got that mic still? I want to take that mic over here to this gentleman, Scott Kaufman, our friend Scott from the DuPage Health Department. Let me unpin some people here. Scott, is that one on?
Yes. Believe that it is.
All right. Scott from the DuPage Health Department is here to talk about what was it again?
So we are, as the people on this call may be aware, here in Illinois, the House recently passed Bill 1910, which means that beginning January 1st of next year, every library in the state of Illinois will be required to have Narcan available for emergency response and staff trained how to use that Narcan in the event that there's an emergency. So we are very happy about that. We also recognize that it's we got some work to do as far as getting all.
Big.
Yeah. There are a lot of libraries, not just in DuPage, but across the state. So to start our efforts on that, the health department is hosting in partnership with our leader, our subject matter expert public library who used to work at Glen Ellen and ROSC. We are going to be conducting a virtual library train the trainer training.
How many trainings?
Train. But on Tuesday, September 16th from 2 to 4 p.m., we'll be hosting a virtual training. I assume that there will be libraries that can't attend that. That is okay. We are going to be recording it and they can view that. Anybody that either attends that training or views it after the fact will then be able to sign up with us to be a Narcan program site, and we can work with them about getting equipped with the supplies to be in compliance. We are focusing on DuPage libraries, but we do know that since it's going statewide, we're not really turning anybody away from viewing the training. We may not be able to supply outside of DuPage and suburban Cook, but basically the end point of all this is if you're working with a library or you hear from a person at a library that's looking for information, send them our way. We'll get them hooked up with either that training to attend or to view, and then everything they need before January 1st.
Excellent. Does anyone here in person or online, don't think I'm neglecting you, have any updates? So like, do you have a program or an event or a collaboration or a need or what are the other ones I like to say? An anniversary or something positive? We've got about 2 minutes. So what do you got? I know all of you, you're working. All right.
I'll go real quick. This is
Yeah.
Magdalena Campos, Program Coordinator with HLM Recovery 180. As you were speaking right now, we do serve Will, Kane, and Grundy County. So if you guys know of anybody that needs Narcan in those particular counties, please contact us and we will be able to provide Narcan training and Narcan. So we'll be more than happy to do that. We also, like you guys, have Your Light Still Shines on August 28th, which is Overdose Awareness Day in New Lenox. So if you know of some people that maybe DuPage is a little far away to go commemorate those who have lost their lives as a result of an overdose, please contact me and I'll give you all the details in regards to Your Light Still Shine. It's in New Lenox, and I'll be more than happy to provide that for you guys.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Magdalena. Anybody else? Oh, Mark Matthews, here we go. And you're good.
But yeah, this is not affiliated with my organization, but this is about having fun in recovery, which I'm passionate about. This Saturday will be our first annual recovery drive-in night at a McHenry movie theater. So I talked with the owners, mentioned recovery at the door. They will send you to our section. We're going to park. We're going to have a parking lot meeting at sundown. A meeting start at sundown, so our meeting will be an hour prior to sundown. I'd say show up around 6:30. You'll find a circle of chairs. They're showing movies Uncle Buck, Great Outdoors, Weird Science. Again, if you don't know what a drive-in is, it's a movie that you drive to.
But again, I have that flyer. I'll put my number in the chat. If anybody would like that information for their friends or family, give me a text and I'll send you the flyer. That is this Saturday, so make sure.
Excellent. Thank you, Mark. Anyone else? All right. Thank you. First of all, H.A.S, thank you so much again for doing this. This was great. Great job, Matilda. Thank you for getting that set up. Thank you to everybody for coming again next month. We are at Gateway in Downers Grove, so come out to that one and come out to the Kane County ROSC kickoff on September 24th. We will be at the health department that day, so come out and see us. Everyone else, have a lovely rest of your day, and we'll see you next month.
Take care.